She'll be throwing the bash. I need a woman who'll treat me right. I need a woman who love and squeeze me tight. I need a woman. I need a woman tonight. I need a woman I can call my own. She got the love the blues and she'll buy me home. She'll tie me up at night and make me say when the sun comes up, we'll do it all again. I need a woman who love and squeeze me tight. I need a woman who wanna treat me right. I need a woman. Well, my days are numbered and I'll tell you why. All the pretty girls keep walking on by, looking and smiling and winking to me. I got a woman who won't let me be.
Yeah, well, of course, I left my water on the other side of the room. I need to get that, but hello, everybody. Say hello to me while I get my water and hit that like button. Thumbs up button, whatever. I'm coming. Need some water. Oh, Jesus. Don't worry, I'm almost there. All right, I'm back. Thanks for fucking saying hi to me, you cunts. Hello. We've got, you want to see Phil Hellmuth lose his shit? It's pretty funny. I watched it earlier. If you don't know, Phil Hellmuth is a famous poker player.
I mean,
he's
this
kind
is
of
just insane.
He's kind of the John McEnroe of poker.
A mockery of poker. What the is going on here?
It's pretty great.
500.
Raise up to 500.
So, you know, he raises with
college,
offshoot Broadway cards.
Poker, and he went to Syracuse.
Blah, blah, blah.
So it was in close
and
proximity
this
to
guy calls with
Turning
10-6
Stone
offsuit.
was 18
Why
and
is
up.
he doing that?
He'd head down there
I guess as a bluff. Not to fold too often, you know, heads up. But I mean, I'm not a heads-up
Many years of experience.
aficionado. I would have
Certainly
folded
not
this, but
This caliber
maybe he
competition.
decided he was folding too
with any
much or needed
regularity.
to just be ambiguous. But look,
Here
he
is
flops a
with
pair.
Top pair after defending with the 10-6.
And Phil with 2 overcards, seeing that there's nothing there that would
Check calls the
really
500
crush
C-bet.
his range. Although, I mean, it's a pretty coordinated board. Dude calls.
Oh, and a
And
jack
now
on
we've
the
got a
turn.
flush draw there. No one's got running hearts. I mean, no one's got
perfection
hearts,
for
rather.
Hellmuth.
And Phil's got about as half of what
1,500.
his opponent has right here. Right bets
I like
again.
this large sizing from Hellmuth on the turn.
And
wanna
this guy,
charge
for
those
whatever
draws,
reason, I guess
certainly
decided, you
Nick
know,
with
I got
a
enough
pair
out.
is
Maybe I
still
get 2
likely to come
pair.
along
Maybe I
based
get
on
another
his track
6. And,
record of calling fairly
oh, a 6
light.
wouldn't even help him. Well, no, a 6 would have helped him because he'd have 3 6s. But Phil's got a pair of jacks right now. He's got to feel good about his hand. Wondering probably at this point what this
A lot
guy's
of posturing
calling with.
there out of Nick. As it looked like he had put together a check raise, but instead
And there it is,
calls
2
and makes
pair.
10s and 6s.
Very
Wow.
disguised 2 pair. Who the fuck
And you
would
wonder
put
whether
your
or not
opponent
Phil's
on
going to pump the brakes
6-10?
here based on what he witnessed on the turn.
You know,
from
Hellmuth
Nick,
is
or if he
thinking, I
thinks
got
that's
top
posturing
pair, good
designed
kicker.
to
No flushes
solicit
possible.
a check back.
Barring any of that, I think going for value here would be the right thing to do, minus any of these reads.
46. Call.
Jacks for the king.
I rivered you, buddy.
And he shows him the bad news.
call.
And here comes the fun. What's up, Rudy?
Uh-oh.
I just love watching Phil Hellmuth
He's up.
lose his shit.
Mother 10-6 off. So you're calling me down with ace high. What the is going on here? I mean, if a 6 comes, he makes nothing. Just an offsuit. 10.
What do you mean if a 6 comes, he makes
What the
nothing? That's one part of his rant I don't understand. He says if a 6 comes, he makes nothing? Maybe he means that if he bet, Phil would have folded. I mean, he would have had 3 of a kind. So
I
just
would check
enjoy,
what?
just to enjoy watching a guy become unhinged. It's always entertaining to me.
Doing? What the
He's winning.
I mean, this is just insane. This is a mockery of poker. Mockery of poker.
I love that. I love when he gets offended on behalf of the entire game. Like, he's like, this is bad for poker. It's a mockery of poker. You make poker players look retarded. I love when he gets offended on behalf of the entire game.
What the is going on here? What a mockery, man. This is my living here. And an offsuit 10 from the calling station. Called me with ace high, so I know he's going to pay it off. What the is going on here? This is a mockery of poker.
Calling station.
If I were a Sour Patch
600
Kid
total.
right about now, I'd be pretty
What
nervous.
a mockery, man.
I love it. I love Phil Hellmuth. I love watching him snap. It's always entertaining for me. Hello, Rudy Lara. You don't like him, Carl? I didn't think you knew one poker player from another. I love Phil Hellmuth. I love watching him snap. He's so friggin' funny, man. I mean, there's so many legendary rants, but when he was yelling to his wife, you know, whatever, I forget what the hand was, but it was like, honey, he called me with, you know, 6-3 offsuit. Honey, can you believe what this guy called me with? Do you guys know the one I'm talking about? Let me see if I can find it. Phil Hellmuth. This is one of his famous ones. Let me see if I can.
A veteran.
I wish we were playing that game earlier, though. I had it for a while.
A veteran in that game.
Yeah, this is a compilation. All right, let's.
I'll take this one, though. You take the next one.
He's got pocket aces, raises to 800.
Oh, man. He's like, yeah, I know.
A little more
He gets
than
called
that.
by Alanis
Yeah,
Morissette. It's Alanis. I'm pretty sure that I didn't know Alanis Morissette played cards.
That you think has a better chance of having it.
I mean, you gotta love this flop. Until the turn. I'm not sure. Why did he check the flop? Did he check the flop?
11.
Sorry, I gotta go back. Yeah, he did. Why did he check the flop? I mean, look, this is an old video, but you would think a very coordinated board with all big cards, you would think that would, you know, run into a lot of people's range. So you'd think, oh, maybe you make a small bet and hope you get called. I mean, I don't know why he checked there, but you know, I'm also not Phil Hellmuth. It's interesting to see Daniel Negreanu, by the way. Daniel Negreanu, legendary poker player. He recently came first place in a tournament, and it was like the first time in, oh my God, like 10 years or something. It was forever. But Daniel Negreanu, to his credit, has worked really hard on modernizing his game and using solvers, and he does these cool analysis where, like, he'll say, hey, here's a hand I played from years ago, and here's the old school way of thinking about this versus the new school. They're pretty interesting hands. All right, let's go back to this. She's cute, though, this girl.
Check.
She's got 10 grand in front of her. He's got 3,700 basically. I just want to watch him explode. This chick is cute. What are you thinking about? You thinking about me, baby? I'm just sitting here thinking about, I wish there was a magician out there for me. Well, a girl can dream. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and bet.
Oh.
And here we go.
Oh, you turn artist.
You couldn't have played it any more passively, Phil. How about betting or raising or... I like it because he's stewing.
Boring. How do you hit a 5?
You can see it's heating up.
Astrophysics.
Make the great call so now they think the king has to be the
Doing their
nuts.
straddles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now he's going to
She
explain
watched
why
me
he's a
for 4 days
genius.
Bluff, what's in Fedor, so she's calling with any king queen offsuit. I mean, I make her do that,
Yeah.
and then somehow they show up with a fucking set. I am so deep. I understand what they're thinking so much. She's calling with king queen offsuit. In fact, Igor might have told her if you have ace jack, just jam on Phil every time. But I know all this because I'm so fucking smart.
You have to be careful.
It doesn't matter. The
Astrophysics.
public doesn't know what we're talking about. Just look at her laughing. She knows I got her dead on.
Hey,
she
Anthony.
was never folding any king queen offsuit. I was never going to 3-bet her unless I had the nuts.
I love this.
And then fucking somehow I lose anyway with aces.
Funny.
All right, it's funny. I don't think I've even seen that one. I really just wanted to see the one where he's going, honey, he called me with whatever it was. I don't know. I love watching people spin out of control. Okay, let's take a look at this. It's always someone else's fault when you're a bad player. Phil Hellmuth is certainly not a bad player.
Today's
But-
video brings a whole new meaning to weapons retention.
But I get your point, though. Let's watch this. Let's see what happened here.
Today's video comes to us from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, Las
Security guard
Vegas.
officers have chased him down in one morning
what
here on on the 4th of July, and this guy has had a little bit too much America, started partying.
4th of
Got into
July.
a shoving match with a security guard. Officers have chased him down, and when we pick this up, he's actually in cuffs, and they're taking him up to the security office. We have badge cam with some audio.
All right, let's
look
get
at the
to it.
surveillance footage.
All right. This is probably Jay. Is this Jay? I'll be surprised if I don't recognize the guy in Las Vegas that's fighting with security guards. This is how he celebrated America.
What the f was that?
Holy shit.
He's got his gun. He's got your gun. I got it. Okay. You got it? Yeah. Is everybody okay? I got shot. Oh, get him a tourniquet.
That's what I said, Tony. Is this
The
Jay?
elevator has a surveillance camera where we can see these officers bring this guy in, and you can see he's resisting them. He's been having a very hard time. So they're trying to get a set of cuffs
Look
off
at how
of
many
this guy. Now it's going to be
people it
difficult to see,
takes.
but watch where his hands are, because he's going to actually get his hand on the officer that's in the middle's gun and actually press the trigger while it's in the holster. It is while it's in the holster that the gun is discharged, putting a .45 caliber round through the sergeant's leg. One of the other officers got some spall in his ankle as well. So this guy is being charged with a whole host of charges, including aggravated assault on a protected person, and he will be doing some significant time. The officer's going to make a full recovery, and we get to think about some lessons. So
What the fuck, man? That was why. Like, I was going to say, why would you do that? But then again, why would you be causing problems in Vegas and getting handcuffed by security guards in the first place? Holy shit, man. Like, you took something that would have been like no big deal. You probably would have probably wouldn't even have gotten arrested. It probably been a couple hours later, you would have sobered up and you'd meet back up with your friends at the bachelor party that you left. Instead, yeah, what's so weird is how did he get to the trigger? Like, I mean, he must have somehow gotten his finger between the holster and the trigger. Hello, Lizzie. Nice to see you. I don't know if you heard the whole story about everything that happened. I did explain it. You could log into the fan club area and check that out. I am so grateful to be healthy and alive. You have no idea.
We like good gear and we don't like bad gear. And if you want to join us on our second channel, Active Self Protection Extra, lesson, Mike, it's worth
having one. Think about until you see this video.
Yeah, and of course, this we're going to see, but we'll talk about for just a minute.
to the action,
so they
guys.
come in, get this guy stuff.
Again, something I've done 1,000 times in the field. There's a way to do it, and I'm not going to talk about that. Less City Bad Nation, where nobody has weapons on them at that point. Done it a million times, something I hadn't thought about until I saw this video. Just wait.
Now, notice that the officer whose gun gets discharged here, he sees that this guy has a hold of his gun, and with his left hand, he reaches in here. Now, I'm not going to, badmouth anybody. I think this
So he did it left-handed. That's pretty clever.
This is the most commonly used holster because it's a pistol-mounted light on his duty gun. And what happens here is that leaves an opening in the holster that he can get a hold of the trigger. And so this guy's left hand is stuck, in a spot where he just reaches out to grab something.
And what could your goal possibly be? To reach into the holster and pull the trigger? Like, just because it's there?
To get inside.
Again, this guy's clearly not thinking clearly.
And light one off in the holster. And here's my encouragement to every single officer is that if you're running a pistol mounted light, which I think you should, make sure that the holster that you use has the maximum amount of trigger coverage and trigger guard coverage to prevent something like this from happening.
I had a crook, this was years ago, back in the 90s, but I had a crook try to disarm me as we were walking out of I was arrested and we're walking out of a bar. And I'm not going to fault this officer for a second. He realized what he realized as soon as he possibly could. It took two tugs of my gun before I realized what was happening, and it just happened so fast.
Yeah, I like to have my gun tugged on.
The other
it's going to take way more than two tugs, though.
part of this that I really want you to pay attention to is that if you're using one of those holsters, specifically with one of the weapon-mounted lights that's wide, this uses the batteries that are side by side, then that increases the width of the channel that is necessary for the holster in order to put the gun in the holster.
So it's that having that light on there widens it. If it's kind of holster, it just wow. But we got it. The bottom line is he got his hand between it. Pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. Let's see if we have any robberies in New York to check out. Oh, here's a robbery suspect that was stabbed by the homeowner. Let's check this out. Look at this guy. This guy looks like in his private life he's a hitman. Like you don't think he's a badass, but when he gets off the news, he has a whole, he's like Batman. He's got a whole vault of weaponry. This guy is clearly a Walter White looking but vigilante type guy.
Was then stabbed by the homeowner with a sword. Erica French.
A sword.
WKRN.com alert.
I wonder how. Oh, look at her. I wonder how many people have swords in their homes because they're decorative and they're cool and they're like, and they just fantasize about one day gacking somebody with a sword and they're like, that's never gonna happen. Like, when is it ever gonna come up that I get to use my sword? And this person did. That's pretty cool.
Desk with new information. Erica?
Yeah, Bob, this is quite the story. According to our news content partners at Clarksville Now, the man is facing especially aggravated robbery.
I think I want a sword now. Mustache off, exactly. I think I want a sword. I think I want to get like a katana or something. So if somebody does break in, got plenty of guns, but maybe go with the sword first. That's pretty cool. That way, if you make a mistake and it's like, you know, I don't know, a friend of yours, like I think Juan has keys to my place. Like, you know, maybe Juan decides, I'm going to surprise Zach. And he flies from Chicago to L.A. and he comes in and he's wearing a mask and I don't realize it's Juan. And like, so before I hit him with the sword, he's like, dude, it's Juan. I'm like, oh, it's a good thing I used the sword first instead of shooting you.
Charges. Clarksville police say 21-year-old Gustavio Russo has been arrested for the crime that happened on June 24th. Police say the homeowner heard a loud crash and then his wife screaming. So he confronted Russo in the bed.
Loud crash and your wife screaming. Are you sure she wasn't cheating on you with this guy?
Bedroom, and police say Russo hit the victim in the head with a blunt object. The homeowner fighting back with a walking cane that had a sword inside.
Oh, shit. What did I tell you? This is the kind of stuff that dude at the desk uses. That is some Batman shit. He's got a walking cane with a sword in it. You really don't think you're ever going to get to use that or that it would even be effective.
Clarksville Now says court documents show there was another suspect in the house at the time. No word on if the other attacker has been arrested. Haley. Thank you, Erica.
Wow. That's awesome. That's a good story. Hit him with a blunt object and he reached over and pulled his sword out of his cane. That was pretty great. Damn, Alfred was ready. No shit. That was pretty great. Let's see. Someone was... Jesus Christ. What do we got here? Woman fatally stabbed. Retirement home in Burbank? Hold on a second. I can't read this fucking thing. Oh, so it was somebody that worked there that was recently terminated. All right. Biden's evicting millions. What do we got here? All right, let's go check our... So check this out. Outbreak, 800 cases, 7 hospitalizations, 0 deaths. This is the Kung Flu outbreak in Provincetown, Mass. Sky is not falling. Provincetown outbreak shows vaccines work even against Delta, JetBlue, United, Spirit. They should name all the COVID variants after airlines. If you want to cast blame for the return of face mask, you'll have to look at the charming fishing village of Provincetown, Mass, at the tip of Cape Cod. An outbreak of several hundred cases earlier this month alerted public health officials to the effect that the Delta variant of the coronavirus transmits much more easily than people had previously thought. The war has changed. The Center for Disinformation and Confusion in Pregnancy acknowledged in an internal presentation, summarized the new findings about Delta. I got really high all of a sudden. I don't know what did it. I had a little bit, that bowl was almost cashed already. I just had a little bit I sprinkled on top. I think it's that vape pen just laid me out. Okay, so things are improving. Shows the vaccine works, blah, blah, blah. And I'm already bored again of COVID. There you go. I don't give a fuck. Charlie Sheen gave a stuntman $1 million to quit his job. Which is funny because he paid women millions of dollars to keep doing their jobs. You know, being hookers. Eddie Braun on the tempting Evel Knievel dare and the touching reason Charlie Sheen once wrote him $1 million check. That's pretty cool. So Eddie Braun is a stuntman that's defied death a bunch. All right. Met Evel Knievel as a kid. Became a stuntman at 17. More than 250 films. Doubled for De Niro, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Ashton Kutcher. I know a lot of fucking stuntmen. They're pretty cool. He paid the ultimate tribute in 2016 to his idol, attempting to complete the stunt Knievel infamously never achieved. This was his 1974 attempt flying a rocket-powered vehicle over Idaho's Snake River Canyon. So, I like this. He's very fearful, scared of a lot of things. I'm not this big adrenaline junkie that's fearless. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. Hell, I'm afraid all the time. It's how one deals with their fear that defines them as a person. That's right. That's why I continue to do comedy in spite of nobody laughing. That's right, my friends. I continue to do this podcast in spite of nobody watching, comedy in spite of nobody laughing, magic in spite of nobody being fooled, and fucking despite never coming. What? Okay. He's doubled for Charlie Sheen for 30 years, one of his closest friends. Oh, I could see that. Look, they look kind of like they could be brothers or something. Look at that. Great picture. Especially since Charlie's got the cigarette. I want to hang out with Charlie Sheen. I think him and I'd get along. He wanted them to retire a long time ago. They worked on The Rookie. After 5 months of getting beaten up, blowing up, all sorts of things. Had a little mishap on a motorcycle, broke my leg. Bones were sticking out because of the compound fracture. Charlie Sheen was distraught by what he saw. Had to calm him down. He wrote a check for $1 million, put it in my hospital bill and said, I want you to stop doing stunts. If this is what it takes, I want you to stop. He says he wrote me a check for $1 million. Back then, that was really a lot of money. Guess what, dude? $1 million is still a lot of money. Of course, I didn't cash the check. I put it away somewhere. You never know when you need it. Really? I would have cashed that shit. I would have directly deposited that with my cell phone. I don't even know if it's still good. You know, like you can't go cashing that check now just out of the blue. People are like, dude, this is fucking 20 years old. What are you doing? He's still doing stunts despite being an older guy. Don't want to be the last guy at the party. He's going to slowly transition into a woman. And then he'll know when enough is enough. So there you go. Good for him. Always very impressed by stuntmen. Speaking of which, dangers of BMX brought to forefront after a brutal crash. Really, I thought it was being maintaining your virginity, I thought, was the danger of being super into BMX. I thought that was the biggest risk you faced. Florida's in Kung Flu crisis. Restaurants say the Delta variant may finish them off. Michael Che goofed on Nina Simone stomach bile and faced intense backlash. Navy charges sailor over fire that destroyed ship. What? Come on, man. Mistakes happen. Well, let's see. He set a fire. What did this guy do? It's out of San Diego. I love San Diego. It's a great city, man. So this guy started the fire, destroyed the USS Bohemian Rhapsody, docked off San Diego. Maritime branch's worst warship blaze outside of combat in recent memory. Amphibious assault ship burned more than 4 days. I don't even remember this. It was left with extensive structural, electrical, mechanical damage. When did this happen? This happened like, what, last year or something? It's probably, yeah, it was last year. No wonder. So much shit going on. Who would notice a warship just burning for 4 days? To replace, the estimates to replace this thing up to $4 billion. That's a hell of a bill to get, huh? You're like, all of a sudden you get this in the mail. You have $4 billion duty. Really? $4 billion? Can I, do you guys have an installment plan? I think I'm going to need an installment plan for the $4 billion I owe. How much can I pay a month? All right. You see how many zeros follow that 4? I could definitely afford all of the zeros following the 4. The problem I have is the 4 in front of the zeros. So, like, I don't know, if I paid let's just say I paid $1 million a month. That still wouldn't really do much, would it? Huh? And I just want to say up front, $1 million a month is going to be outside of what I can budget for. Yeah. Could we go $100 a month? Like, I still owe my friend Sully a few bucks. So, I mean, he's been waiting a long time for that money. So, yeah, this $4 billion is going to really it's going to cramp my style. So the sailor was a member of the crew at the time. Commander Sean Robertson, U.S. 3rd Fleet spokesperson, said in a statement, sailor was charged with aggravated arson and the willful hazarding of a vehicle. Robertson said no name was released, so nobody knows who this guy was. It was unclear what evidence was found or what the motive is. There's no other details. Somehow this motherfucker set a fire and burnt a warship up, and it's like a big secret? You think maybe they captured a UFO and they pulled a little green man out, and this dude found his ray gun and brought his ray gun back to his cabin there, took it up to the Lido deck of the warship. Does a warship have a Lido deck? Does a destroyer have a Lido deck? The band and stuff? Be like, I'm going to head up to the Lido deck. I heard there's a great Bob Marley tribute band playing. I'm going to get a pina colada. Okay, man, but you think it's a good idea to take that ray gun with you? Oh, man, I'm just going to shoot it off into the sky, play with it a little bit, and next thing you know, your fucking warship's on fire. Anyway, the The amphibious assault ships are among the few in the U.S. fleet that can act as a mini aircraft carrier. Sounds like an oxymoron, right? This is our small aircraft carrier. The Bohemian Rhapsody had been nearing the end of a 2-year upgrade, estimated to cost $250 million when the fire broke out on July 12, 2020. About 160 sailors and officers were on board when the flames sent up a huge plume of dark smoke from the 840-foot vessel. You don't need to put meters in parentheses. No one knows what a meter is. Which had been docked at Naval Base San Diego while undergoing the upgrade. The fire started in the ship's lower storage area, where cardboard boxes, rags, and other maintenance supplies were stored. That sounds like a fire hazard. Winds coming off the San Diego Bay whipped the flames, and the flames spread up the elevator. Like, what's his face? Like Johnny Cash. And exhaust stacks. 2 explosions. One heard as far as 13 miles away. Again, you don't need the kilometers in parentheses. No one knows what a kilometer is. It's 1,000 meters, right? But no one knows what a meter is, so that means nothing. What is it? A meter, like about 3 feet? What is about 3,000 feet? Just say 13 miles. Caused it to grow even bigger. The fire sent acrid smoke billowing over San Diego. Officials recommended people avoid exercising outdoors. Firefighters attacked the flames inside the ship. Firefighting vessels with water cannons directed streams of seawater into the ship, and helicopters made water drops. More than 60 sailors and civilians treated for minor injuries, heat exhaustion, smoke inhalation. This guy really fucked up. Oh, man, that's a fun story. What else do we have here? You guys want to hear about Michael Che goofing on Nina Simone stomach bile? I like this Michael Che. The only thing is, Michael Che called out for sharing Simone Biles jokes, wipes Instagram, and claims he was hacked. You know, this is the second time he did something controversial and then backpedaled. Like, dude, there's so many comedians are such pussies right now. I'll tell you who's got some of the biggest balls is Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore's a fucking hero. It's funny how many comedians are praised for being edgy and rebels and renegades, and Lenny Bruce got arrested and Andrew Dice Clay was protested, and isn't that great? People love to talk about it when it's in the past and you were successful. But when you're actually doing it, people are like, what are you doing? You can't do that. It's like when they did it, they couldn't do it either, but they did it. And they paid a price for it. SNL star Michael Che under fire, tasteless joke. What's wrong with a tasteless joke? Jokes can be tasteless. A lot of tasteless jokes are really funny. I like a good tasteless joke. I also like people that support me by joining my fan club at ZachWaldman.com/fans. Even if you don't join, there's lots of free things you can do to support me in the show during these trying times. Anyway, on Friday, Che jabbed at gymnast Nina Simone's stomach bile, who made headlines this week for bowling during the Tokyo Olympics and lost her mind. By the way, these stories make a lot more sense if you read along with me as I paraphrase. Man, I want to make fun of Nina Simone's stomach bile, the comedian wrote on his Instagram story. I got like 3 minutes of Simone Biles jokes in my head. I'm going to go into the Comedy Cellar tonight, say them into the microphone. As the dorky kids say, I'm choosing violence. That's very funny. He should have said woke kids. Because, these woke cunts think silence is violence and words are violence and everything is violence except violence when it's used to further our insane agenda. Then it's a protest. Fucking morons. Anyway, following his comments, other Instagram users began sending him suggestions, which Che Guevara reshared on his stories. Jimmy just built a $2 million home. He isn't being risky. He's selling sacks of BS to the stupid. No, you talking about Jimmy Dore? Hi, Dub. I think he takes a lot of risks. I disagree. And just because he's successful doesn't mean he doesn't take risks. Lenny Bruce made money too. I don't know why I'm doing this all of a sudden. It's just fun. I want to see the jokes. All right, let's see. Larry Nassar understands Simone Biles better than anyone. He too had to quit doing what he loved at the pinnacle of his career because of mounting pressure. Larry Nassar was the guy that molested her, right? All right, whatever. I mean, I love a good molestation joke. I don't know that was great. Okay, so shivering while typing this, but you're encouraging me. Who said black don't crack? Now, that's a good joke. Economical, referential balance. Good job. 8 out of 10. So he's like, he said this, God damn, that's rough. Absolutely tasteless. 9 out of 10. Yeah, see, I like this Michael Che, but then he goes backwards. Man, I got hacked today. I can't believe they got me. Y'all know I only do jokes about whites and cops. All good now. I changed my password and everything anyway. Y'all hear about the baby there? That's crazy. Light, see y'all at church. I'm going to get there early. Oh, he's not. I think he's just joking. I think he's just laughing about, I don't know. This person is an idiot. There's a lot of funny rape jokes. George Carlin already proved that point. All right. Everybody's outraged. The more fake outrage, everybody. Twitter went after the comedian. Che returned to Instagram. Okay. Yeah, pointed out they using the same font. Alleging he was. I don't think he was. I don't think Michael Che was really claiming he was hacked. I think he was making a joke. I think he was like. I think so many people do that. Like they backpedal by saying they were hacked. So I think Michael Che was just. I think it was kind of a meta joke. I think. I don't think he was really claiming to be hacked. Hey, by the way, my blood pressure was down to 127 today. I forget what the bottom number was. And my resting heartbeat was like 55. Like 55. That's less than 1 week of eating healthy and going back to jiu-jitsu. I gotta Google things to do to lower your blood pressure. My friend Armand said beetroot. You can get this beetroot powder, and he says that's good for lowering your blood pressure. We'll see. They said that one time during Weekend Update, he made fun of chicks with dicks when he went after Biden's recent executive order reversing Trump's ban on chicks with dicks serving openly in the military. It's good news, except Biden is calling the policy "Don't Ask, Don't Tuck," which is not good news. It's just a joke. All right. I love all these people that are upset at tasteless jokes. Same month, he turned his attention to Israel's Kung Flu vaccination program. Israel is reporting that they vaccinated half of their population, and I'm going to guess it's the Jewish half, he joked. It's pretty great. Then the ADL's all butthurt. Everybody's upset at jokes. It's so funny. Sexual assault, abuse survivors are not the butt of jokes ever. Sure they are. I'm a sexual abuse survivor, although I would never call myself that. And I made jokes about it on stage. So you're wrong. Wrong. Should we tell her she's wrong? It doesn't matter, does it? Should we bother? What do you guys think? Let's do it. Shit. Hey, what's up, Upper Cup Grandma? Let's see. This fucking keyboard. Wrong. Let's see here. Welcome. I'm a sexual abuse survivor, though I would never call myself that. It's lame. Anyway, I've made jokes on stage about it. People laughed. You're wrong. Wanted to say again. It's I'm enjoying it. Let's see. There we go. Reply. By the way, do you guys remember that insane video I played? I got to call this guy. Hey, Barry Ribs made a joke similar to me. I said they should name all the Kung Flu variants after different airlines. I'm curious how much Delta pay for the naming rights of the variant. Look at that. Great minds think alike. I like this Gina Carano. Robert Floyd, tribute from DMB to Hugh Lewis News. Remember meeting Hugh at Pebbles, loved him ever since. Cool. All right. I'm getting distracted by Twatter. What was... we were just talking about Michael Che. All the people that are butthurt over jokes. So there you go. I'm done with it. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So do you remember yesterday there was that insane video that looked like it was maybe from Africa or some fucking shithole? I forget. And it was little boys like dry humping little girls to music as all the parents looked on and laughed. It was on Twitter, and I was showing it to you guys, and we were all horrified by it and going, what the fuck is this? YouTube removed I got a little thing from them going, hey, just to let you know, this violated content guidelines. This has zero effect on your channel. Just want to let you know we removed it. So in case you're wondering where that episode went, now you know. All right. What else? Want to see about... Some restaurants may not survive renewed mask mandates, growing number of restaurants, some of which barely survived the Kung Flu pandemic in 2020, raising alarms that the Pan Am variant could finish them off. We only get so many months of summer. This is from Ivy Kitchen and Cocktails in Detroit. If we experience additional restrictions, social distancing, occupancy restrictions, a person only has so much fight in them. We can't take another blow. The Eastern Airlines variants created multiple levels of strain on eateries, many diners more anxious about entering public libraries. It's forced waiters and beer tenders to revert to their childhood roles as public health enforcers. Industry appeared to roar back to life. National surge, different restaurants. Blah, 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 blah. Fucking sick of Kung Flu. All right. U.S. relay team wins appeal. Reinstated for final race. Don't give a shit. Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje verbally agreed to UFC 268 bout. That would be good. Oh, I saw this movie, Midnight in the Switchgrass. It was pretty cool. I gave up alcohol and turned to weed instead. Now I'm a more present and patient parent. This is what you call California sober, when all you do is smoke weed and you don't drink or do any other drugs. It's like if you only do psychedelics, pretty much, you could do mushrooms and, smoke weed, and that's California sober. Charles Koch, cannabis prohibition is counterproductive. $25 million to support legalization. Look at that. Koch, a passionate libertarian's already donated. I don't think I knew he was a libertarian. Charles Koch. I like him already. He's already donated a fortune to various political causes, now spending impressive sums to support cannabis advocates who are pushing for federal legalization. How much money does that stuntman, that Eddie Braun, have that he says $1 million used to be a lot of money and he never cashed the check? That guy must have a lot of money. Depending on who you ask, Charles Koch is a titan of industry. Dark money political bogeyman. Bogeyman? How about boogeyman? What's a bogeyman? There's a bogeyman. Hit the brakes, will fly right by. Or the Marcus Aurelius of the libertarian movement. Marcus Aurelius, wasn't he a Stoic? I feel like I should know more about Marcus Aurelius. I don't know what that means. The Marcus Aurelius of the libertarian movement. I'm going to have to look up Marcus Aurelius now. God damn it. I'm pretty sure he was a Stoic. But what would that mean? Let's see. Fucking Wikipedia. Wikipedia, Roman emperor, Stoic philosopher. I see I got that right. Name, Chanza, heir, legacy, reputation. Oh, Jesus. There's two. I don't know what this means. The Marcus Aurelius of the Libertarian Party. Someone tell me. I'm done researching. I care about as much as I just spent the effort looking. If somebody would just tell me, I'd be interested. Anyway, soon Koch might be known as the billionaire who persuaded Republican and Democratic holdouts to legalize weed at the federal level. The question is why? Because he's not a fucking idiot? Certainly not because he enjoys consuming cannabis from time to time. On the contrary, only time the 85-year-old CEO of Koch Industries ever tried weed was by accident. Oh, brother. What, did Bill Clinton shotgun it into your mouth? It was like, well, Bill didn't inhale. He just kept it in his mouth and blew it in a mine. It was in the 80s when Koch was helicopter skiing in British Columbia, as one is to do. While dining with his friends, dessert was served, brownies. No one mentioned to Koch they were made with cannabis. He ate one. A bit later, fucked a little loopy, he told Forbes. This indicates that Koch is getting on board because of his libertarian philosophy. It should be the individual's choice. Prohibition's counterproductive. Ruins people's lives. No shit. Creates conflict in societies. Anti-progress. The whole thing never made sense to me. I like this guy. I don't know anything. This is the most I've ever learned about him. All I ever hear is the Koch brothers named in like conspiracy theories. But based on this one article, I'm now on Team Charles Koch. I just got to remember which Koch brother. Charles, yes? Charles. Charles Koch, you and I are cool. For coke, marijuana, prohibition's disruption of essential human rights, personal freedom. It exasperates U.S.'s mass incarceration problem. We should have learned our lesson from alcohol prohibition. We should learn our lesson with the entire war on drugs. You know, you see what goes on in Mexico. It's friggin' horrible. We could save lives if we just end the war on drugs. Approximately 70% of Americans agree with the view. 18 states legalized ganja. 37 states have legal medical marijuana programs. Coke's got a couple of questions for U.S. politicians who are against it. If you don't like ganja or don't like people smoking chiba, you have all these laws. How's that working out for you? You know, Mota, as I understand it, is less addictive than the drink you drink. So why is alcohol legal and marijuana is not? He's using almost $25 million of his $45 billion fortune to influence criminal justice reform and legalization by the end of the year. It's not very much money. How about $100 million? It's possible he may end up spending around $70 million. Okay, that's better. This is the amount he already spent on these issues over the past 2 years. In April, Charlie Boy's political advocacy group, Americans for Prosperity, teamed up with criminal reform advocate Wimbledon Los Angelinos to create the Cannabis Freedom Alliance, which supports cannabis-related causes, including hanging out in the lobby of the Fontainebleau to end weed prohibition. By criminalizing cannabis, it has huge negative manifestations, not only for individuals, but also for society. We want a society that empowers people to realize their potential and contribute, but with these laws, you block out millions of people. No shit. The list of billionaires known to support the cause in one way or another: Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates. Then you got celebrities: Santana, Jim Belushi, Gwyneth Paltrow, Chelsea Handler, Zach Waldman, who's mostly just infamous. Charles Koch aptly paraphrased 19th century French economist Frederick Baskin-Robbins: for a law to be respected, it must be respectable. Very cool. I like it. I'm on team Charles Koch now. Doesn't take much. And oh, look at that. An hour on the nose I've been going. All right, let's take a quick gander at what else is going on. We've got the New York Post. Let's refresh this. I heard someone talking about, CDC shows those vaccinated face small risk of serious breakthrough COVID infections. Teen was laughing with sister before leaping to death from the vessel. So I heard somebody, it might have been Jim and Sam talking about this, I'm not sure, about this. Or maybe it was on Bennington, actually, now that I think about it. I think it was the Ron Bennington show. So they've got this thing that I guess it's some art installation, which is essentially a staircase to nowhere. And this is the fourth person that jumped off the fucker and killed himself. So people immediately are like, tear it down. I say, why did you build it in the first place? But now that it's there, why do you blame the structure? It almost... I'll tell you what, why don't you fix it? Why don't you put a really deep body of water around it and then add diving boards? You know what I mean? Because people want to tear it down. You're going to blame the structure because people decide to kill themselves jumping off of it? You shouldn't have built it. But now that it's built, modify it to work with the problem. You've got a problem. People keep jumping off of it. Deep, crystal blue, soothing water all around it. Diving boards and lifeguards. Problem solved. And then you charge an admission fee to jump off the fucker. New York City restaurant stopped from building insane two-story outdoor dining shed. Meanwhile, penis snakes pop up, and you guessed it, penis snakes. The fuck? Yeah, so this New York City restaurant was trying to build a two-story structure for outdoor dining. Meanwhile, you see homeless people, a.k.a. bums in L.A., do this all the time. It's pretty crazy. It's a hell of a treehouse. What do you expect, man? People are innovative. The fuck is a penis snake? Manaconda. If you thought California's flotilla of sea penises wasn't phallic enough, the penis snake, they don't know about them in the wild. They started showing up a couple of years ago. Jesus. Type of virtually blind legless amphibian that resides in the jungles of South America and Asia. The fuck? Great. I got to see a lot of iguanas running around Florida. That was fun. Let's see what the most read thing is on Reason. FBI seized nearly $1 million from safe deposit box on pure conjecture, federal judge says. They love doing that. These law enforcement agencies love seizing money, making up reasons to take people's money and then making them fight to get it back. What does the unpublished evidence cited by the CDC's new face mask guidance actually show? Simone Biles doesn't exist to make America proud. I'm not proud of anything that goes on with the Olympics. I don't give a fuck. Daniel Hale revealed America's drone assassinations to the public. He's been sentenced to 45 months in prison. You fought the law, and the law won, my friend. CDC sentences kids to another school year of irrational masking. All right. What can I tell you, man? There's Dave Smith. I love this guy.
When it comes to the issues that the liberals are best on.
It's an hour-and-a-half video. Go check that out. Reason Magazine. Dave Smith on big tech censorship, lockdowns, running for president. He's a comedian. He's a libertarian. He's great. I love him. Massachusetts prison system sued over unreliable drug tests that put inmates in solitary confinement. All right. Let's see if... let's do this. Before we end the show, let's go to the Good News Network, end on something positive. Man is stunned after he sets up camera inside Bird Box, tracks 41 million fans worldwide. It's amazing. That's why you never follow an animal act or a kid's act, right? NASA measures interior of Mars for the first time, revealing huge liquid core. Yeah, I got a liquid core. Recycle Your Electricals campaign diverts 1,000 computers to those in need so far. Electricals campaign, not electrals. Electricals. Let's see. Scientists studying crows get another surprise. They're so smart they understand the concept of zero. Doritos gives 13-year-old girl $20,000 reward for discovering rare puffy chip, which the entrepreneur listed on eBay. That's pretty great. Hydrogen is powering the Olympic Village, heat, electric, and lights that are a model of Japanese innovation. New Yale study suggests mammals might dream about the world before they are even born. Well, I'm a mammal. I bet most of you are too. Let's see what this is about. As a newborn mammal opens its eyes for the first time, it can already make visual sense of the world around it. But how does this happen before they've experienced sight? Jesus. A new Yale study suggests, I've had some Mexican friends that went to Yale. Hello, hey Zach, could you do me a favor? I got a little drunk and I got arrested and I ended up in the Yale only for the night, but they say like somebody needs to bail me out of Yale. Could you bail me out of the Yale? No problem. I'll be right there. A new Yale study suggests, in a sense, mammals dream about the world they are about to experience before they're even born. I remember when I was in the womb, I had high hopes. I was in the womb dreaming of one day getting laid. And my friends, I'm happy to report that happened several times. Writing in the latest issue of Science, a team led by Michael Crayer, the William Ziegler III Professor of Neuroscience and Professor of Ophthalmology and Visual Science at Yale. You know, your eyes are just your brain that's exposed to the world. Describes waves of activity that emanate from the neonatal retina in mice before their eyes ever open. This activity disappears soon after birth and is replaced by a more mature network of neural transmissions of visual stimuli to the brain where information is further encoded and stored. Wow. At eye-opening, mammals are capable of pretty sophisticated behavior, said Crayer, senior author of the study, who's also vice provost for research in the Yale. But how do the circuits from that allow us to perceive motion and navigate the world? It turns out we are born capable of many of these behaviors, at least in rudimentary form. In the study, Crayer's team, led by Yale graduate students Xin Ji and Kathy Zhang, explored the origins of these waves of activity, imaging the brains of mice soon after birth, but before their eyes open. The Yale team found that these retinal waves flow in a pattern that mimics the activity that would occur if the animal were moving forward through the environment. This is nuts, huh? This early dreamlike activity makes evolutionary sense because it allows a mouse to anticipate what it'll experience after opening its eyes and be prepared to respond immediately to environmental threats like cats, especially cartoon cats with mallets. Going further, the Yale team investigated the cells and circuits responsible for propagating the retinal waves that mimic forward motion in neonatal mice. Found that blocking the functions of starburst amacrine cells, which are cells in the retina that release neurotransmitters, prevents the waves from flowing in the direction that mimics forward motion. This in turn impairs the development of the mouse's ability to respond to visual motion after birth. Intriguingly, within the adult retina of the mouse, these same cells play a crucial role in a more sophisticated motion detection circuit that allows them to respond to their Ring doorbells and environmental cues. Mice, of course, differ from humans in their ability to quickly navigate their environment soon after birth. However, human babies are also able to immediately detect objects and identify motion, such as a finger moving across their field of vision, suggesting that their visual system was also primed before birth. These brain circuits, or self-circuits, are self-organized at birth, and some of the early teaching is already done. Crayer said it's like dreaming about what you're going to see before you even open your eyes. Wow, quite an imagination on us mammals, huh? I like that. I got to make that a habit of ending the show from the Good News Network or Human Progress, something positive. Maybe I'll just do the whole show like that. Maybe I'll just be the positive guy on YouTube. You know, nothing but positivity. Hi, everybody. You're all damn good looking. Even if no one else thinks so, I think you're good looking. Hey, aren't we all having a wonderful, great life? We're just lucky to be here. Isn't it a beautiful day? Of course it is. You're still in the game, my friends. Here's some more good news and more compliments. Maybe that's what I'll do. I think I could do that. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, I'd love it if you would support the channel, support the show by going to zachwaldman.com/fans. Even if you don't join the fan club, you'll find there's lots of free things you can do to support the show. I'll be back Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, I love you all more than chocolate cake, and I'm going to play you out with a little Reverend Carl. It's the best part of the show, you know. It's the end of the show. And here's your Reverend Carl. See ya!
It's 2 a.m., 14 below, it's closed. My work is done, but I'm feeling low, and I wanna play the night away, the night away. I can't stand to be alone. I gotta bring over some people to fill up my empty home. Yes, I do. Yes, I do now. I'm having a party, having a party, having a party. I'm having a party, people. And a party, people. Well, well, well. Put out the word to the chosen few. I got the SMC, my friends. Bring your choice of brews, your choice of brews. The buzz is on and the mood is set. The candles burn as the turntables turn by the TV set. Yes, they do. Yes, they do now. Having a party, having a party, having a party. I'm having a party, people. And a party, people. And everybody's getting down now. Party people, having a party, having a party, having a party, people. A party, people. Well, well. The monster man is feeling smooth, while in the mirror he's busting moves till he finds his groove, till he finds his groove. A Johnny Poet is feeling numb. He's gonna drink until the sunlight comes out to play. He's always running away. Where are your shoes today now? Having a party, having a party, having a party. We having a party, people. A party, people. And everybody's getting down now. Party, people. Having a party, having a party. We having a party, people. And a party, people. Half Texas having plenty of fun. He's been drinking them 21s like they're going out of style. A jungleberry is scabbing tails. He'll smoke all the weed you have if you let him away with it. I let him away with it. I let him away with it. Away with it. Away with it now. Having a party. Having a party. Having a party. We having a party, people. And a party, people. And everybody's getting down now. Party people. Having a party. Having a party. We having a party, people. A party, people. Well, well. Reggie Love is dressed in plain. He'd like to bop the night away, 'cause he's come a long way from that Ventura County. Girly girl by the telephone. She's been waiting on a man to call so she can share her love.